Go.
Welcome back to 12 Rounds of Adrenaline with Tony the Tiger Lopez. We have a special guest today. Actually, it's even interesting to me. Uh,
Nafys
Nafis,
and the Conqueror.
the Conqueror. So you're the Middle East light heavyweight champion.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What does it mean to be? Okay, I'm from here, so I don't know anything about the Middle East. I'm gonna ask a lot of dumb questions.
I got you.
So, what does it mean to be the Middle East champion?
It's a childhood dream come true of mine. When I lived there when I was 13, I started doing MMA there, and I told myself that I would come back and become the champion of the Middle East or of Egypt. And when I turned pro, I went overseas to accomplish that goal, and I did it within 3 fights. And it was a childhood dream come true. One of my childhood dreams, and my next childhood dream is to become undisputed world champion.
Now, okay, we met the first time at the fights in Orville.
Yes, sir.
What, a week ago?
Mm-hmm.
It was a week ago. And I thought you said you were the light heavyweight champ back then too, right? You told me that night, right?
Yep.
Okay, but to me, I'm not saying that.
I got you.
I'll beat me up. It's just going to beat me up. But you're not real big as I see fighters as light heavyweight.
Right.
And how did you happen to do that? I mean,
just because I did the math, and I just realized that a lot of fighters spend a lot of time cutting weight and not enough time focusing on their skills for the fighter themselves. And just being around pros and stuff, like when I was like coming up, when I started training when I was 16, I just realized it takes so much time to cut weight and not enough time to sharpen up for the fight itself. And that's the real battle, is the cutting weight. So in order to bypass that, I realized that I don't have enough experience as you guys. So why not fight at my natural weight, so I don't have to go through the cutting weight, and all my attention is focused on my skills that I need to win this fight.
Well, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent my whole career cutting weight. I should have spent more time perfecting my skills. That's actually really good. That's common sense there for me. I mean, that's
sir.
common. But okay, so what's more? We'll get back to your boxing career in a second.
I got you.
But what really intrigues me about you is you got in the military at 17.
Yes, sir.
And how did you do that? And you U.S. military, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how did you do that? How'd that come out?
My junior year in high school, my uncle was just in my ear, like, what are you gonna do after high school and stuff? And like, yeah, you're gonna box, but you need to take care of yourself. You need to pay your own bills and be a man at the end of the day. So then he got my ear about it, so I'm like, okay, cool. I went down to the recruiter station, and I was just like, okay, like, you have a boxing program or something? They told me about the all-army boxing. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I go all-army boxing, and then they got a straight route to the Olympics in 2020. And from there, once I get out the military, I get the turn pro off of being in the military, all-army boxing, the Olympics, as well as still earning a check to send home to my family to help out and stuff, as well as take care of myself. So that's the reason why I joined the military. That was my sole ambition when I was 17, to join the military for the specific reason of being of service to my country, first and foremost, and then all the benefits that it could give me as far as like my route to boxing.
That's right. Hey, well, thank you for your service, man. I appreciate
Thank you for your support.
And let me ask you this. So, where did you go once you joined the military? Were you active? Did you? I mean, I want to know.
Yes, I was on active duty.
Huh?
I went to basic training 6 days after graduation, and then from there, I went to basic training at AIT. And when I was at AIT, they told me that I got orders to go to Kuwait. But my schoolhouse teachers were telling me that if a cable dog, which is what I did, I put in cable and stuff like that. If a cable dog gets orders to go to Kuwait, then you're really going to Afghanistan. So it kind of prepped my mind for it in a way, but not really, because it's just completely different than how you're normally supposed to get deployed. So my brigade was in Kuwait, which is like the overall corporation, and then my battalion was in Qatar, but my company was in Afghanistan. So although I got orders to go to Kuwait, they were pushing me out to Afghanistan. So I was in Afghanistan for 12 months straight, 345 days without any R&R. And mind you, you're supposed to take R&R within the first 4 or 5 months, but I got there so late. Everybody in my company already put in, so I had to wait 340 days. So imagine 340 days of your brain being in a survival state every single day and being bombed every single day and every single night. And then the days start blending together, like night turns into day and day turns into night, and then you start losing the sense of time, in a sense, for sure.
No, that's really interesting. So I mean, when you knew you had to go,
Mhm.
how'd you prep yourself?
Mentally, I just accepted death. I accepted it. Like I wrote down in my journal and stuff, and I was just like, like if it's my time to go, then it's my time to go, and I just accept it for what it is. Because I believe that God wouldn't have put me in a situation if it was meant to either break me or take me to a different level. So I just took it on the chin as far as like this is my purpose, part of my life. I'm not gonna not go. And I had the opportunity to run, or to like dodge it or whatever, and face the consequence of it. But I took it on the chin. I accepted death for what it is, and the angel of death became my best friend.
Right on. Well, damn, dude. With that kind of attitude, you can be heavyweight champion.
For sure.
Nothing stopping
I
you.
plan on retiring as heavyweight champion.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I thank you for your service, brother.
Thank you for your support.
But watch this. Okay, now let's get back to the boxing.
Okay.
That was very interesting. That's really cool. No, okay. I written down some questions. I was trying to normally do, but I have something for you.
Okay.
Do you understand Egypt champ? I'll just say Egypt champ, and or versus USA champ.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the difference?
It's a complete difference. Completely different levels, completely different arenas altogether. Different levels in skill, different levels in grit, different levels in mentality, different levels in everything. Different levels in preparation as far as equipment goes, gym access, and the whole nine. It's a completely different level. This is definitely the deep end.
Yeah.
Deep end of the pond, for sure.
Now, okay. What's your record?
4-0. Yep.
So you're the light heavyweight champ, East champ, at 4-0?
Yes. At 4-0, I became the Arab and Middle Eastern light heavyweight champion at three professional fights. I defended it about a month and a half ago for the first time, and then I did that with only one amateur fight. And I also did that. I also did that with training myself for my first fight and my last fight, and I also did that with only sparring twice within those 4 fights.
Really?
I also did that, and I also did that with no time training for more than my first time training for an extended period of time was when I went to Egypt ever in my life for an extended period of time. It's the first time I've ever trained consistently for 2 good enough because I always had something else going on. I never could just consistently train. The first time in my life I trained consistently was in Egypt.
Really?
Ever. And I did all that within 4 fights. And with no amateur background, I had one amateur fight, and the amateur fight that I had, I lost.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Boy, you know what? So have you sparred here yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Where you train? Who's training you now?
Otis, Coach Otis,
the
blue guy.
He's from
Sacramento.
Oh, he's from Sac. Oh, so you're stationed. You're staying in Sac.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
He's the next great champion.
Okay.
Yep.
And then who told you to come to the United States to fight? Or did you come here to fight, or did someone send you here?
Oh no. Everything was on my own accord. Even going to Egypt was on my own dime. Did that completely independent. No sponsors, no help, no anything. Went over there and paid for all myself. I came back here because I did it in a shorter period of time. I accomplished everything I wanted to in a shorter period of time than I thought. So I just came back here because I did everything that I was supposed to do.
Yeah, and then okay, over here. Well, when I was fighting, it was every 6 months you have to defend that title every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So is it the same over there?
So over there, it's a little different. They got like this different ranking system where like you can like only defend like 1 time a year.
Oh, really?
Pretty much. So that's what I'll be doing, just defending it 1 time a year minimum. I would like to defend it more than that if I can get it sanctioned here in the States, but because I'm here in the States, most of my fights won't be sanctioned by the Arab and Middle East Commission.
So you have to be over there to defend it, right?
Yes, sir. Or fly them into the States.
Or fly them.
Yes, sir. Okay. It'll be a lot cheaper to fight overseas than to fly everybody from here.
Okay. Can I ask you what the pay is as that lightweight champion over?
Oh, you can ask me anything. So just to be quite frank with you, I paid for all my fights. I didn't earn a dime. I didn't earn anything. For my first fight, my first 2 fights, I was paying $1,200 per fight, just because just being the A side out there going to another country, foreign country having a commission against me, the judges against me. the fighters, the people, everybody, you know. So it's like, but I paid for my fights, so I paid to get opponents, I paid for opponents to come, and I paid for everything. My first fight was 1,200, and then my third fight had to pay for belt fees and section fees and stuff
Really?
like that. Yep, completely out of pocket. And then did that was a couple grand, and then this fourth fight, when I defended the title, I only had to pay like 600 because now I was the champion. But instead of that 600, I also got more benefits as far as like ticket sales and stuff like that that would come back to me.
Oh,
And stuff
really?
like that too. Yes, sir.
Did that make up some ground for you?
It didn't because it's like the Egyptian pound versus US dollars, like one US dollar is like 30, 32 Egyptian pounds, so it doesn't really translate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but.
Huh.
Mhm.
So, okay, but you were born in the United States.
Yes, yes,
You
sir.
grew up in Philly.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's it like growing up in Philly?
It's a completely different monster. Like you grow up pretty fast, you know, like super fast. I grew up super fast. I jumped off the porch at like, and I mean, I got to the streets at like 10 years old when I really started noticing like how money works and I need money to pay the bills. And it was around the time my mom and dad got divorced when I was 9. I started realizing like you need money to pay for life. You need money to pay for food. You need money for all of this. So I stopped playing with toys. Got a job working at a barbershop, and then it was a conflict for me, honestly, because I grew up in a strict Muslim household. So I was born and raised Muslim. And you know, my dad's always teaching us about, you know, God and stuff like that. But it's like in the household, it's like really strict and stuff and everything's structured. But as soon as I step outside, I'm stepping right outside to the jungle. There's a dope needle, you know, there's all kind of shit, you feel me? So it's just two different worlds. And I gotta go to school. You know, I gotta walk 12 blocks to go to school from elementary school all the way to, you know, middle school or whatever. And walking to school, you're fighting every day, you know. We constantly move to different parts of Philly, you know, different neighborhoods. So I'm always a new kid, you know. Me and my brothers, I got 11 siblings, and I'm the middle child. But at the time, I was the youngest, you know. So they're fighting all these older people, you feel me? And I'm fighting them too because they're my brothers, you know, and that's what my dad taught us and stuff. So it was just a complete conflict because here I am being taught about religion and what not to do, the right thing to do, and then outside it's completely contradicting to everything. Exactly. Yeah. So that was a struggle in itself because it's like I understand what you're telling me, but in order to survive out here, in order to survive out here, I gotta be a monster because there's no other way, you know. Yeah. I tried to be like I was a mama's boy growing up for the most part, you know. I tried to be like that way, like soft spoken and stuff like that, and then I got my ass whipped. And it's like either you're gonna whoop ass or you're gonna get your ass whooped. There's no other way around it. There's no running, there's no hiding. You gotta face the music every single day. So that's what it was, and it motivated me. It motivated me to have like, in a way, two different people in a sense, because in the house respectful, you know, just like third, but in the streets it's like I'm a monster, you know? I'm a monster just like them. And I say that in the purest sense of being a monster because it's like what I had to do. And I was 11 years old when I got to the streets and stuff, and all my friends were 17, 18, 19, 25, you know? Yeah, I'm a baby, but you know, I got height, you know, I'm taller and stuff. So skinny stuff, and I could always fight, you know? Right. So they would have me around and stuff. We would always fight and stuff. And my dad was always around them. Like, he was always, like, maneuvering around. And my dad, like, was, like, raised and born in the streets and stuff like that, too. So he was always around and stuff. But the moment he got locked up, I started selling weed. So I started selling weed and stuff. And then I got into, you know, robbing people and stuff. And I got my hands on a revolver, a pistol. And then it was up from there, like, as far as, like, being in the streets and stuff like that. And then I got to the point where my family, my mom actually went to Egypt in 2011, but I couldn't go because I had a court date for like aggravated assault and like stuff like that. And like, so I had to go, I had a court date, and I went to juvenile school and stuff for like the next 2 years, and I had to do a lot of community service and stuff like that too. And that's the reason why my family moved to Egypt. My mom moved to Egypt because she wanted to save my little brothers from Philly, you know. She wanted to save my little brothers from ending up like how I ended up so fast, you know. Right. So she moved to Egypt and stuff. I couldn't go to without a court date or whatever, and then I moved to a different part. And then the same cycle just repeated itself over again until I finished the time at the juvenile school, and then I could finally go. And once I did leave to go to Egypt, my mind changed altogether.
When you went to Egypt, it changed?
Yes, sir. I went to Egypt in 2013.
And what brought, I mean, I never been to Egypt, so what brought the change on it? Is it calmer? Is it?
As far as like, it's not the hood, you feel me? So right. It's like, going to Egypt, it was like a breath of fresh air for me. It was like I finally got to breathe for the first time in my life. It wasn't like being in Philly. It's like, excuse me, I always feel like I'm in survival mode. I'm always looking over my shoulder, head on a swivel, the whole nine. So it's like every day. But going over there, so I can finally breathe. I felt at home. Like I felt like I finally felt a sense of peace for the first time in my life, and that's why I got a love for you that I will forever have, because it gave me my first time that I could recognize peace of mind. And then from that point, it was like, I was there for about a year till my mom got married, and then but
what's so crazy is you described how I felt when I went to not Denver, I went to Colorado where the Air Force Base is. And I remember it was kind of cold that night, and we were there for the boxing match. Remember the Army, Navy, Marines, all these just boxed together?
Yeah.
They had it there.
Gotcha.
And I'm in Doc Martin boots, black Levi's, and a Pendleton jacket, right?
Yeah.
And these guys are telling me, "Hey, you guys want to go to have a drink? Yeah, let's go." So we all went. It's a biker bar they're taking me to. And I'm going, I look at the guy, he's one of the Air Force guys.
Right.
I'm going, dude, are you serious? And everybody's real polite there. It's everybody's really polite. And he goes, "Excuse me, Mr. Lopez?" They call you Mr. Lopez.
Right.
And I'm going, "Really?" And he goes, like shaking his head, like, "What, Mr. Lopez?" I go, "Dude, look at the way I'm dressed. I'm dressed like a Mexican, dude." I go, "We're taking me to a biker bar."
Right.
And he goes, he didn't get it. I'm going, "Dude, I'm dressed like a Mexican. I'm going to a biker bar. We're gonna have problems." I go, "I ain't taking any shit." I go, "Someone say something. We're fighting.
Right.
Or I'm fighting." Mm-hmm. He goes, "No, Mr. Lopez." He goes, "We don't do that here." He goes, we don't have that problem here." Okay. So I walk in the place, my chest stuck out, ready for someone to say something,
Right.
Uh-huh. I walk up to the bar, they grab a table, I walk up to the bar, and the lady comes right over, and she goes, "Can I help you?" And she's kind of nice, so I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting there, waiting for someone to say something. It's a biker bar, and I'm dressed like a Mexican, I'm waiting for someone to say something. And then no one said anything. I went back, went to the table, went back, she was real nice, smiled. I went back to the table, and I went, "Dude, you're right." No one cared. No one, but I felt the same way how you're explaining yourself, how you felt.
Right.
So at ease and peace. Mm-hmm. It was like, oh my God. I went home and I told my wife, "Man, I felt so good there, If it wasn't so darn cold,
right,
I would move there."
Mm-hmm.
I like the heat. I like cold. So, but the way you explained it made me reminded me of being at the Air Force Base in Colorado.
Right.
It was just so. I mean, he goes. The guy told me, he goes, "We have blacks, whites, browns." He goes, everybody in the world here. Everybody joins the military. You join the Air Force. Right. You're here. He goes, "We all have to get along." He goes, "We're just one big happy family. That's why he's gonna find it."
That's beautiful.
And it was. I was like, "Oh my God, dude!" It felt so good. I went, "Man, I would love to move here if it was so damn cold." Mm-hmm. But it's too cold. So right. I never went, but but yeah, that was a cool story, man. And so, okay, so after you got out of the military, mm-hmm. Okay, did you have any problems? Like, they always say that they have PTSD, they have this and that. Did you have any of that? Or?
Absolutely.
Oh, you did?
Absolutely. So it's when I got back from Afghanistan in 2019, I was a shell of myself, a complete shell of myself. It was like I was just walking around like a skeleton. I didn't expect to make it back.
Right.
So I gave everything to Afghanistan. It's like, and just to give you more depth to what I'm saying. When I was in Afghanistan, I didn't feel a presence of God at all. There was no presence of God. I felt like it was just the devil's work out there. And I say that in the sense of like my soul felt like I sold it in a way, like I felt it was gone, and it was like every day dealing with, death and bombing and, people shooting at you and stuff like that, and just, like people blowing themselves up and like defects and stuff like that, and like lunchroom and shit, you just get disconnected, from everything, and you really start believing like, what if the devil, we are pawns of the devil out here. And then on top of that, like I said, I was born and raised Muslim as well. So we're in Afghanistan, they're Muslim, It's just the difference is I was born in America, they were born in Afghanistan. We're both praying to the same God, only one of us is making it home at the end of the day. At the end of the day, when I go home, I can't look at myself in the mirror because it's like those are, my military brothers are my brothers as well, but they're my brothers in faith. And I'm going against them every single day. We're both praying to the same God in the same exact way, prostrating in the same exact way, but I'm making it home and they're not. So it's a conflict within myself, even to this day. And it definitely it definitely halted my belief system completely. I don't think that I would ever. I pray that I do get it back, but I don't think I'll ever get that sense of godliness back, that sense of purity back. A piece of my soul has been left in Afghanistan. And I will never get that back. But I say all that to say, when I got back from Afghanistan, um, usually when you get deployed with a unit. Y'all all go out there together, but prior to getting deployed, you're prepped. You're prepped. You go through all these pre-deployment checklists and this, that, and the third, and they give you reminders and stuff like that about what do you do, how to survive. Give you basic reminders. Wasn't any of that. It was straight from AIT to Kuwait. I was in Kuwait for a week, Qatar, Afghanistan, and the rest of my time. And then, so I didn't get prepped for anything. There was no prepping anything. It was just pushing through till I got to Afghanistan. So when I got back, same thing. I didn't go back with the unit. I went back by myself. When I got to Fort Hood, Texas, the system was just all over the place, and there wasn't any proper guidance as far as like, because I don't know any better,
Right.
All I know is I'm not myself, all I know is my family don't really recognize me. I feel like an alien around them. All I know is, I don't know any better, I haven't been in a situation before and things. So, so when I get back into, I'm thinking I can handle it myself, thinking I can handle it myself, and it just got worse and worse as far as like not being able to sleep at night. Then I started drinking. Rewind back to Afghanistan. When I was in Afghanistan, I got started taking blood pressure pills. Like, a bunch of guys are taking them and stuff, and I started taking blood pressure pills because they made you stay up for days. You don't want to go to sleep,
Yeah.
So you stay up for days, sometimes 2-3 days on these blood pressure pills, And I got addicted to them. I got addicted because it's like, yo, this shit is helping me function. You feel me? Like, it's helping me stay awake, stay alive, stay alert. Stay alert, stay alive. So it's helping me focus in these moments. So I got dependent on it because it's like I can, if I'm not on them, I'm nodding off. I'm so tired, But if I'm on, I'm like, And then when I crashed out, I would crash out like if we usually had like Sundays off. I would just sleep the entire day, like in like 20 hours just to catch up on my sleep, because I'm on these pills all the time.
Yeah.
So towards the end of my deployment, I was like, I'm gonna leave these in Afghanistan, It's like that. So I left in Afghanistan, but I picked up a new vice when I got home. So I started drinking, because obviously you can't smoke weed, you can't take edibles, you can't. You can do coke and shit because it like goes out of your system in like 3 days. But I'm not taking no coke or nothing, you feel me? So I'm drinking, and I got like hella bottles in my room, you feel me? Like 20 bottles at a time, and I realized I didn't really realize it until someone told me, but I would wake up, take a shot of some whiskey, like for PT before like 5 in the morning, just to feel like myself, or feel something, and it was like, it got to the point where like after PT, I'm taking another shot, and then before I go into work, I'm taking another shot, and then I'm drinking throughout the day, And then the weekend I'm hitting it hard and drinking and stuff, and I'm just a shell of myself, and I'm just acting out of character, going out clubbing all the time, and my unit going out clubbing and getting in all crazy fights and stuff, and just really being, like just out of control, destructive, very destructive, self-destructive. I'm pushing everybody away that cares about me. I'm pushing my family out, like, cause I feel like they didn't understand me, they didn't understand what I've been through, like they didn't know, how to react to me, So when I came home, it was like I wanted to be embraced, you feel me? Because it's like I hadn't been embraced this whole time, but when I got home, it was like everybody's tiptoeing around, and it's like I had everywhere in the world to go, to fly to, but I chose to come home, to be around my family, but it was like they just avoided me like a plague, and it was just super, super weird to me, but it like
probably didn't know how to react.
It didn't.
Yeah.
And I don't hold that against it because it was a lack of knowledge and a lack of understanding because, I don't believe that anybody else in my family has like that on my mom's side that has like went to Afghanistan and went to war and stuff like that. And So they didn't have any knowledge about it. So I don't hold that to them. But at the time, I didn't know, because I'm a shell of myself. So I'm taking it hella personal. Like damn, I just want some love. I want to feel something, because I don't feel nothing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that, So just this whole lot of adjustments and stuff, and it was like, my NCO, my sergeant that was in charge of me, pretty much like a manager. She was like, room checks and stuff, and like she did a room check, and I wasn't there, but she seen 20 bottles. She's like, yo, what's up? Like, you got a problem? Like whatever. You need to go to like the whole drinking therapy thing, like ARP or something like that.
Yeah.
So I went, for a bit and stuff, and that didn't help at all, because it was just like, I'm here expressing myself with y'all, but I'm about to leave, and I still got to deal with these thoughts, these recurring thoughts in my head, and how am I going to function? How am I going to sleep when I'm thinking about killing somebody every single day, and it's like, my brain got so tweaked out. I thought about death every single day. It was like, I would look at somebody, just picture their body dismembered, or me just like flashing out like in my head, strangling somebody or like beating somebody to death with a rock or something. Just like, because my mind is so conditioned for death. You know what I mean? So they took me from an environment of death and destruction and threw me around people who've never seen war before, who just went to AIT and then went to a regular unit. So now I'm a monster amongst humans, trying to function like I'm normal, And it's like I'm not normal. I done seen some shit I can't unsee. You feel me? So it's like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to act? I don't know. I can't. I'm telling myself it's like I don't know how to act, because I don't even know who I am at this point, And I'm 19, 19 at the time. So I'm just like I don't know who I am or how to deal with all this stuff, So
I don't want to cut you off,
sure.
But you know what? He's really good at explaining this. I've never been there. I mean, I signed up, but I never had to go. I never seen any of that stuff. You just explained it to me to where I can put myself in that position, so I can see what's going on. Maybe you should go. I'm just saying that maybe you should. Go get a job. How these veterans come back, they're all jacked up.
Right.
See, you've been there, done it.
Right.
You know what they're going through.
For sure.
You can help a lot more people than someone that's never been.
Right.
Someone that's never had it. Someone that's not going to the pump that you had. You can help because you've been there, done that. And it looks like you're functioning pretty good. I'm just telling you how it looks from here.
For sure.
I'm just saying. But I mean, you could be an asset in so many different ways. Because you're a good guy. You're such a nice guy. The first time I met you were a very polite, very nice guy. I said, shit, was good to guy on the show. I would have never known that about you. And hearing about it now, I mean, dude, there's people that can use people like you. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And so that's another thing. That's another thing.
For sure.
But that's just. I'm proud of you, brother. Good job, man. Good job. Okay. You were in a car accident.
Yes, sir.
And what year was that?
That was in 2019. 2019, I was in a car accident. So what happened was, it was my 20th birthday. This was my first birthday since I joined the military. Because my 18th birthday was in basic. My 19th birthday was in Afghanistan. So my 20th birthday, I'm in the States. You feel me? So like I'm trying to go out, have some fun or whatever, and clean fun. Wasn't drinking about nothing. Just went to Six Flags, and then like some of my battles had a surprise party for me and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get back to base, So I got a Camaro. I'm pushing in it, and it starts raining really bad, and I got a passenger too as well. It starts raining super bad, and it's like mind you, I'm still driving, not realizing that rear wheel drive Camaros tend to hydroplane.
Yeah.
Did not know that though. So I'm doing like 95 pushing, and then all of a sudden my wheels spin and then my car shifts. So I'm driving and then like my passenger like, wake up. I'm super calm. I'm seeing everything in slow motion.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and it's raining. I'm the only one on the road right now. I'm in the left lane, far left lane. So when I swerve, I'm going towards the middle barrier, like the exit point, the yellow and black steel barrier thing in the middle. So I'm swerving to that. And mind you, when I'm swerving, I'm going straight, like I curve like this, and the barrier is here, so it's gonna destroy my passenger side.
Right.
You know, so seeing it in slow motion, swear to God, I just I hit the brakes and then just spun the car a little bit as much as I could, and then just switched the car and hit my door, and then the car door dropped on my leg. I was unconscious for a bit, and all I remember was waking up to my passengers slapping me, like wake up, crying and stuff, like wake up, like wake up, please wake up. And then like I wake up and I'm not thinking I'm dead because everything's gloomy, like it's like and it's like everything's so gloomy, like it's like kind of like a filter, like if you use a filter that like has like everything blurred, all the lights are, and thank God that we were 7 minutes from the hospital, so the ambulance was already there. I don't know how long I was out, I just remember a lady in my window telling me like, oh my gosh, like I seen you a while back and you were speeding so fast, are you okay? And whoop and stuff, and I'm just like, like the door wrapped around my leg,
Yeah.
and then like my passenger, got out and stuff and was like helping me out and stuff, and the passenger side, I'll show you guys the picture after and stuff. The passenger side, not a scratch on it, not a single scratch. She got out with not a single scratch on her, not a bruise, not a scratch, nothing, and I had a punctured lung, a bruised lung. I broke several ribs in my chest, shattered my collarbone, had like gigantic bruise on my thigh. Right, so I got out the car and the ambulance is there, and I gotta walk like 15 steps. So as soon as I step out the car, my arm drops, boom, and I'm like, something's wrong. I don't feel nothing else though. I don't feel nothing else besides something. My arm just dropped, like it's like, and my skin's hanging, literally, like I'm like, something's wrong with my arm. I tell the paramedics something's wrong with my arm. Something's wrong with my arm. They're like, to ask me like, what's your name? Do you know where you are? And stuff. I'm like, I'm really coherent. I'm telling them, yeah, I know where I am. So they give me a shot or whatever. And then the only thing in my mind is I'm thinking is like, can I box? Can I box? Will I be able to box? Will I be able to box? Because I didn't do all this. I didn't come this far, go to war. I didn't do all this. Like I said in the beginning, I joined the military to serve my country, but also to benefit myself, my own life, and my boxing career.
Right.
But that didn't happen because I was deployed most of the time, so I missed out on the tryouts and stuff like that. But I came too far to come this far. Right. So in my mind, I'm thinking, can I still box? Only thing in my mind is, can I still box? I don't care about how long it's gonna take to heal, none of that, So then the doctor comes in and stuff. He's like, you're gonna definitely need surgery, hands down. Like you can't leave here without surgery. Like you can't leave here without surgery. So they gave me a titanium plate and 8 rods, in my collarbone. And the doctor told me like you'll never be able to compete again. Like you'll be able to train, but you won't be able to compete at a high level. You won't be able to. Pretty much tell me I won't be able to fight anymore.
Right.
And I took that as a challenge. Like, okay, you're saying this, but I know I'm here for a reason. I literally survived so many situations where my life could have been taken, and I'm still here. The car was mangled. It was mangled. Like they were like everybody in the hospital coming to see me and stuff because they were like, "How are you alive? How are you alive from this?" Because the car was mangled. It looked like a crushed up can. On the driver's side, and it's like, how did you get out there alive? God has a hand in your life. I firmly believe that as well. And that happened, and from that point, it was just a lot of pain,
And that was where?
That was in Texas.
That was in Texas.
Yes, sir.
And so, okay, so I don't want to bring up the bad news, but I am. You caught a gun charge.
Yes, sir.
Was that here or?
No, that was so I got out the military. That was when I was here in Sacramento. So
that was after your car.
Yeah, that was after my car. It's like,
so wait a minute. You go to the army, you see this and you see that, and you get the car accident, you did all this stuff, and then you get a gun charge?
For sure.
Wow.
Because I'm not licensed to carry in California, Yeah. I've been in the military, I've been everywhere, besides here. So like I'm here and my mind is, I'm active, I'm safety first, but so I gotta have a pistol on me because it's like that's how I'm trained,
Right.
I don't feel safe without it. I don't feel comfortable. I go out in public, I get anxiety, I get paranoid, I get extremely paranoid and stuff, and it's like it gives me a sense of comfort. And on top of that, like my mom, she lives in South Sacramento, which is like pretty much like a war zone out there, So it's like I drive an Audi, I got nice clothes and stuff like that, so people are naturally looking at me all the time, and I'm not gonna, I'm obviously I know better now, but just having the mentality of like keeping a certain part of my mentality from the hood and from the streets and being in the military and now as a civilian or as a veteran now, it still stayed with me. It's like I'm going to be strapped up because I'm not going to let somebody take my life, you know.
Yeah.
So I started to be driving and stuff, and then the cops pulled me over, and then they were like, do you have any weapons in the car and stuff? And I'm like, yes, I have a pistol underneath my seat, you know. Just being honest with them, like if you're going to search my car, you're going to find out. I don't want you to be aggressive towards me, you know, and make it seem like I'm this criminal and stuff. I'm not.
Right.
You know, I'm simply trying to protect myself.
Right.
You know, so they, appreciated the fact of my honesty and stuff like that. To the police station and stuff, and I had a court date and stuff, and I just really got the case dismissed altogether because of my background, you know. And I'm just like, explaining to the judge and stuff. I got an attorney and everything because they were just trying to give me some crazy charges for a gun charge, and I'm like, I just got the military. Like you can see my file. I've been in Afghanistan. I'm a protected war veteran, so that all played into my favor extremely, and I got the case dismissed, and that definitely put my mind in a different frame. Like I gotta slow down for sure.
Yeah. Okay. And then what's going on with this? I heard something about downtown date night. What's that all about?
So I was downtown with my lady, and I got my jewelry on and stuff, and we're walking, we're just enjoying ourselves, having a great time, My lady wanted to get out and stuff, so I'm like, all right, cool, I'll take you out. We were downtown Sacramento, enjoying ourselves. We're at like some chicken spot, it's eating, having a good time, but we're sitting in the window. Mistake number one, I'm sitting in the window, all this jewelry on and stuff, laughing, having a good time, and I see these dudes walking back and forth, staring, I'm hip to robbing people and shit, from when I was younger. So it's like I know what they're doing before they even do it. And then now they're standing across the street. My lady has no idea what's going on. I'm not gonna ruin her neck by putting that in her face. You feel me? So it's like she don't need to know. When it go down, it's gonna go down, And it is what it is. So we're walking out, and they start trailing behind us, and I'm already knowing he's coming to throw with my lady. She's enjoying herself, so I'm not gonna bring it up. So we get down to my car, and they walk up to me. It's three dudes. And I'm like, hey, where you from, cuz? And I'm like, I'm from Philly. What's up? Like, I'm out here. He's like, oh, you out here? And I'm like, yeah, I'm out here. Like, what's up? I know what that means. Yeah. When people from Cali, you feel me, or West Coast period, actually where you from, they pressing the issue with you. Right. So I'm just like, I'm not from out here, but I'm out here. You feel me? So like, what time it is? So like, you feel me? So like, all right, whoop-de-whoop. And I'm like, all right, cool. So then dude tries to take my jewelry, and so I start tussling with him, and then the two other dudes, start trying to help him, Yeah. Mind you, now this pure self-defense. I'm going to muscle memory and pull out my blade. Start hitting them like 9 times, you feel me? And mind you, thank God he's not dead. Thank God he's not dead because I would change my life drastically, Right. But hit him like 9 times with it and stuff like that. And it was just him though. Like as soon as I started hitting him, everybody else backed up, Yeah. Because mama, I don't know what they have. I don't know what they have, what they know. I'm with my lady, I gotta first thing first, I gotta protect her. So automatically I went into I'm back to my roots, I'm back to instinct. Right. You feel me? I have no fear in my heart. So it's like I'm gonna deal with y'all how I deal with y'all. And then that happened, and then after that happened, I was just like, yo, I gotta go, because like I'm not gonna give too many more chances. You feel me? Like with life, if I keep living life without being in my purpose, without living in my purpose, living in my truth, Right. I'm in this situation where I don't need to be in, I didn't need to be down there. We could have went somewhere else. I didn't need to be wearing jewelry. I could have took it off. I didn't need to be driving with a gun on me. I shouldn't have been in those places, that I need to carry a gun. Right. So it's like lessons that I need to learn, but honestly, just being moving reckless, and in a sense of like, still semi self-destructing in the sense of like not really thinking that far ahead as far as like my actions go, I'm just thinking about self-preservance at that point, so that happened, and it put me in a state of mind like I gotta make a change, like because how many more chances is God gonna give me, before I either end up in prison for the rest of my life or 6 feet in grave. So okay, let's bounce back to that dude. You gotta do the rest of it. Let's bounce back to your boxing career. Okay. How long have you been back in Cali? I've been back for 2 weeks now. Training yet? No, sir. I started training on the 5th of June. 5th of June? So Monday. And when do you see yourself fighting? I see myself fighting in August. I want to fight like August and then just get the ball rolling because I'll be having at least 5 fights this year, or within the year, not the calendar year. Yeah, within the year. Yep. Is that right? And now, and are you gonna go back and defend your title again, or? Mm-hmm.
You have plans of going back to defend it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, is there because I don't know anything about the Egyptian title.
Mhm.
So is there people out there training for you now?
Mhm.
There is?
Yes, they are. They're all in my DMs, like waiting for me. Like they're pretty, yeah, they're pretty active. Like,
Hey,
yeah,
you win a title, nobody wants to fight you.
exactly,
You're like, I want a title for I'm the baddest dude in this planet right now.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Everybody wants to fight you. Isn't
exactly.
that crazy?
It is.
It is, but you got what they want.
Exactly.
You know, that's
And,
really
and on top of that, I'm the first American in history to ever win and hold that belt.
really.
Ever in history. No American has ever done that before. They made it so difficult for me to get that title. The government was involved, the commission, the nationals, everybody was involved to not. They made it a point so that two Arabs would fight for that title and not me, not an American, not an American period. They didn't want that, because they knew once I got my hands on the title, they weren't getting it back.
Yeah.
But thank God I had some very like the co-founder of professional boxing in Egypt. I can personally connect with him through another fighter prior to going out there. So I had him in my corner, and he pulled a lot of strings to get that fight. He pulled a lot of strings, and we made it happen. And I won by knockout.
Oh, nice.
Yes, sir.
Well, what round?
The 10th round.
10th. Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
So you have power in the late rounds, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and are they 12-round fights over there?
So I didn't do any 12-round fights. I did. My first fight was 4, then it was 8, and then 10, and then 10.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
So even the title fight was for 10 rounds?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And would you consider yourself a better 12-round fighter or 10-round fighter?
I would consider myself a better 12-round fighter.
You get better as the fight goes on?
I do. I get stronger.
Yeah.
I can download more information and the whole nine. But either way, I'm more fresh, obviously in the earlier rounds. But when it comes to the later rounds, I notice a lot of dudes don't focus on conditioning, and that's where I get them. So we could be, and that's where I'm gonna get these Americans at, because they're not focused on going the distance. They're focused on whether they're on a knockout streak. They're focused on knocking people out, winning on points or whatever. I'm not focusing on that. I'm gonna knock you out one way or another, and it's only a matter of time if I catch you.
How tall are you?
6'2", 6'3".
And you weigh what?
Right now, like 178, 180.
That's actually really good. So what's the average size of your opponents?
My average size of my opponents like 5'10",
5'11",
5'11", maybe 6 foot.
Really?
Uh-huh.
So you got your arms really long?
Yes, I got a 78-inch wingspan.
You got 78?
Yes, sir.
Wow. And so you use your jab a lot?
Honestly, I didn't need to use my jab. I didn't use my jab until my last fight. So prior to that, it was just setting them up like Tank does and just dropping them, knocking them out. But my last fight, a lot of people were say I didn't have a jab. Like I couldn't use a jab. I couldn't box and stuff, and it was their best boxer from Egypt, So they threw him in there with me, expecting like him to box me, Because it was like, oh, you haven't fought anybody who moves around, who boxes, who's slick and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, I'll make it a point to box you the entire time, and I'm not gonna go in there and try to knock you. I'm gonna embarrass you. That's exactly what I did. I could have easily knocked him out, but I drug the fight out just to show that yes, I have a jab. I jabbed him for most of the fight.
Okay.
Both southpaw and orthodox.
Now this old fighter's gonna give you the young bull a little education.
I got you.
Just because it is. Watch. Anytime, don't ever take nobody the distance. Don't ever do that, because you never know. Watch this. They call a lucky punch because anybody can get lucky.
Yes, sir.
And you don't want to get caught with that lucky punch from your opponent, because the longer you stretch it out, the more of a chance he has to land it.
Right.
Well, that's what I was always told by a guy by Brooklyn Bill Maletta. Used to be fight. I guess he fought Graciano or Marciano back in the day or whatever those guys are. And he always sang around me when I was a kid. And he always give me little tidbits or words of advice, and that was one of them. Never drag out a fight, because you never know, that guy can't get lucky. It only takes one punch.
Thank you.
So yeah, and so now your dream here in California is to what?
To become undisputed light heavyweight champion in the world. Might sound crazy, but hey, speak it, believe it, receive it. I do believe that I will have a title shot within a year's time, a world title shot for sure. I do believe that with me training consistently and sparring here in America, like I said, I haven't sparred, and I sparred 2 times in my 4 fights, and those were Egyptians. And I trained myself for 2 of those fights. And also, when I won the title, I won it with a full-blown pneumonia. I had a full-blown pneumonia. I had to take a week off for my last week of camp. I was in bed, Vicks on my feet, 12 hoodies on, the whole 9, wrapped up in a blanket. I showed up to the fight, feeling like I can only breathe 20%. The whole 9, and mind you, we went 10 rounds. I knocked him out in the last minute of the 10th round.
Wow.
With a full-blown pneumonia to win the title.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Again, man, boxing better watch out.
Right, I'm telling you.
For real.
Yes, sir.
Your life has been pretty amazing.
Yes, sir.
I mean, watch. After your next fight, would it be okay for us to come and talk to you after every other so many of your fights?
Absolutely.
Watch. I don't see you losing anytime soon at all, or ever actually. For the stuff that you've been through, the drive that you show that you have,
yes, sir.
Oh my God, that's half the problem with boxing today. Everybody wants to be a world champion today. Everybody wants to make $1 million right now. No one wants to work for anything.
Right.
It seems like your whole life has been work.
Yes, sir.
So and you're still working.
Yes, sir.
And that's what it takes. There is no shortcut to a world title.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying this is 100% has to be. What I'm saying is, there's some people that get lucky.
Right.
And or they just have that in them to do it.
Right.
They're a gift from God. And I believe there are some. I've seen some, and with little to no experience at all, turn pro and win titles. I've only seen one in my lifetime, but he did it. So it's like it can't be done.
Right.
But it seems like every time your whole life has been work. You got to work for something.
Exactly.
And watch. I don't know what God has. Nobody has on God, but I don't know how to say it. So God has out for you. But it must be big.
Yes, sir.
Because He keeps blessing you.
Yes, sir.
And that's a good thing. That is never a bad thing. That's actually. I see you doing something great in boxing. I would like to see you train sometime.
Yes,
And then when I see you train, then I'll tell you a little bit more of it.
For sure.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. So if we come in before your next fight to talk about your next fight,
yes, sir.
And you ain't training that hard, I'm gonna tell you, to me, you ain't training that hard, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real.
For sure.
And it's not talking smack to you. I don't want to talk smack to any of my people that I have on the show. But I am going to ask questions.
For sure.
And it's questions that you may or may not like. But all I want is an honest answer. That's all I want. If I don't know, I think because every time when I was fighting, someone did an interview, they always ask me these nice, easy questions.
Right.
Every once in a blue moon, somebody asked me a question I had to think about, and I thought, damn, I don't know. No one's ever asked me that.
Right.
Everybody asked me these simple ABC questions. I don't know.
Right.
And it makes me think. And those are the interviews that I like.
Right.
So I want to be the interviewer for you. I want to be that interviewer that goes say, yes, I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna ask me something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then we're live. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Yes,
because I want to know.
right. For sure.
Hopefully some of the fans out there want to know. And it was nice meeting you. So right now you're just starting to train. There's no fights scheduled yet, right?
Right.
So, but when you do, I want to know about it right away.
Okay.
And I train fighters at a gym downtown. It's called Downtown Boxing and Fitness. Is it? I think it's on 24th and J, on 24th right off of J Street in Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I haven't seen you there. Have you trained there? No,
not yet. I think that's the gym where all the windows.
Yeah.
Looks like on the corner with the parking lot to the left of it.
Right.
Behind that diner, Rick's Diner.
Right. Got you. Yeah. I'll be training there on the 5th, so on Monday.
And what time are you training?
I'll be training from 10 to 12.
Oh, really?
10 in the morning to 12. Yeah. I actually want to be earlier than that, but I want to go in if I can. If me and my coach can schedule it like 4 through 6,
Okay.
Yeah, 4 through 6 in the morning.
4 to 6 in the morning? Why?
You remember those days?
No, but 4 to 6 in the morning I was running. What time you gonna run?
Actually, I focus more so on sprints and a lot of pull work. I never understood the the logic and running long distances when that's not how a fight goes. A fight's more so interval running, like high speed, slow down, high speed, slow down. So that's how I train myself as far as like conditioning goes. And then I do rounds and laps in the pool and stuff. And also it's better on the joints.
He needs a coach. He needs a trainer.
No. You know what? You're 100% right. You know why? Because when I do wind sprints, because I ran for longevity. I'd run
10 miles a day.
No, sometimes I do. Watch. Sometimes you get in such good shape. Because when you first off, I can't run 3 miles and I'm pissed. But you know, sometimes after you start running, you get in better shape. One time I was running around Wheeling Park, and I'm just running, I'm going, oh man, how 10 miles. Oh, I'm stopped. I ran over. I stopped. I ran 10 miles on accident. I didn't mean to run 10 miles. So I stopped. Screw this. I stopped and got my car and went home because I'm not running a marathon.
Right.
But what we did do, which made sense, what you just said, is sometimes I'd go to like a high school run. So you run around track, it was boring or crap. Run around the track, and then for your wind sprints, I would wind sprint the football field, walk to the other side of the bracket, sprint, walk. So walking, running, walk for that interval time. Right. And then as I got older, I jumped on a treadmill, and I'd run for I run like I'm a short guy, so I run at number 7, 8 on the treadmill. I run for 3 minutes, and then we'd walk for more. Like for a minute, you'd put it down to like 4, for a minute. It's a fast walk. And then I pick up to like number 9 or 10. So if I got closer, I got in better shape, so I ran longer, more sprints faster. Yeah. But it was only a 3 minutes versus 3 minutes.
Right. Exactly. And it resembles a fight. Because you're fighting 3 minutes and you're resting for 1.
Yeah. So and you know what? Told me that was a physical therapist out of Auburn.
Wow.
Out of Auburn, California. Wow. Man's educated, so you must. So how did you come up with that?
I've been thinking about this for a long time.
Really? For
a long time. Like when I decided that boxing is what I want to do, I really did my research. Although I wasn't in the ring, although I wasn't able to train properly in a sense, I did a lot of training in the backyard. I watched YouTube videos about how to throw the jab. I'm under a clothing line, all the time. I'm still working the entire time from the moment that I joined the military. Although I wasn't able to compete, I'm still working. All this had division in my mind the entire time. It never left my mind. When I was in Afghanistan, that's what stopped me from committing suicide. That's what stopped me from overdosing on pills. That's what stopped me from being reckless and like just doing more shit than I was supposed to do. It stopped me from trying to be that hero. Right. Because it's like, yeah, you may die, and I accepted it, but you also may make it home. And that stayed in the back of my mind. If I am going to make it home, I'm going to box, because this is, I don't know, I can't describe it. I can't tell you, because it's just a different feeling. Like, if I would tell you prior to me turning pro that I was going to go and do everything that I just done, you would think I was psychotic. Like, how are you going to do that? You had one amateur fight, you lost that. How are you gonna turn pro and go make all this noise? How you gonna go do this? But it's like,
right. I ain't gonna tell you no. Right. That you've done everything else that people are going, wow, he's still here. Straight up. So I'm not gonna be the one to tell you you ain't.
Right. But they didn't know that about me though. They didn't know, like, I've been fighting for my life since I was in the womb. Like, I was my mother's toughest pregnancy. They told her to get rid of me because it was taking so much from her body. She had to get feeding tubes and stuff like that. And it's like, I've been fighting since I was in the womb. Fighting for my soul to be here. Fighting for my existence. From the get go. So I always had the warrior spirit in me. I always been a fighter. And then, my entire life, all I can remember is pain. Yeah. Pain and the depression. I didn't realize that as a kid I was depressed a lot. I wouldn't smile for months, wouldn't smile for months. I wouldn't communicate well. I wasn't good with my words, or expressing my emotions and stuff like that. I've been going to therapy since I was 9 years old. My parents got divorced. It tore me apart because these are my idols, and now they're not together in the same household and stuff like that. So it just did something to me. But prior to that, it's just so ironic that, and I want to share this because it's like, I feel like it helps a lot of people out, a lot of men that are scared to talk about sexual abuse, and they're scared to talk about like incest within the family and stuff like that, whether men, women, or whatever, I'm here to say it because like I'm a man standing 10 toes down in my truth, and it is what it is, But when I was from like, I would say like 7, or like 6 through, like, okay, for sure, I'll tell you now, from like 6 through 8,
Camera's gonna shut off.
my oldest brother, sexually assaulted me for a period of time, and my parents had no idea, it was just like, and I don't know any better, I'm just like, yo, it's my older brother, like, I know this is wrong, but it just, it tweaked my mind, like, and they didn't know about it until I turned 22 years old. They just found out about it, and I held that in for this whole time, and it made me question my sexuality for a large portion of my life, like, damn, am I gay? You feel me? Like, do I like men, because it's like that stuck with me, that happened early in my life, so it's like, doing different stuff.
You had a very I don't know if interesting is the right word, difficult life.
For sure.
And sometimes those with difficult lives are our hardest stones as fighters.
Mm-hmm.
You marked me as one of those guys.
Yes, sir.
Very, because you're tall and thin, light heavyweight,
Yes, sir.
But you are tall. But you seem to have that warrior in you, dude. You really do. And I watch. I ain't sitting here BSing you because I'll, if you have it, you have it. If you don't, I'll never mention it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
But you can talk to someone that know they have it. I sometimes get these guys in here and they say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that." Shut. But you seem to be. You seem to have what it takes to get the job done.
Yes,
That's what it is.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And you know what, dude? You remind me of myself when I was young. Nothing's gonna stop me from doing what I need to do.
Okay.
And here's another piece of advice for you.
Okay.
When you spar, I know it's not your choices, and I know, but you do have a say. When you spar with someone that is equal as you or less than you, you're doing yourself no justice. When you spar with someone that's going to beat your ass, and at any time he wants you to start whooping your ass,
Right.
That's when you do yourself justice. Let me tell you why. Because they're better than you.
Right.
And when you get hit, you wonder why did you get hit. A fighter that wants to learn wonders why. I sparred with Bobby Cham the first 3 years of my career. Bobby Cham was a 2-time world champion at the time.
Right.
Vicious. He's from the 70s where they were vicious. And it was the last 3 years of his. You know what? There was times I showed up to the gym. I was so beat up from the last week that it wasn't even funny, but it used to piss me off. Because one day I told myself, I'm not going. Because one day I was in the gym and I had lumps on my forehead. My nose was this wide. My lips were big. My eyes were big. And I was beat up. I was beat to death,
Right.
And then one day I'm looking down there putting the headgear with the bars on it because my face wouldn't take it anymore. So I had to wear the headgear with the metal bars.
Wow.
And I'm 20 years old. And so they're putting the headgear on it, but my head hurts from all the knots I have on it.
Right.
And I look over, and I just happen to look at Bobby going to my right. He's across the ring. And I remember him looking down. He always kicked his feet out and did this with his gloves, But I was young.
Right.
And he looked at me and just did like this. Shook his head no, like, I don't know. To me, he insulted me. But maybe that was a good thing because I thought, F you, I'm going to keep going back till I beat your ass.
Right.
And it never happened that year. The second year was 3 years. The second year, we was off and on. Third year, my trainer said, "Hey, Tony, take it easy, man. Take it easy on Bobby. Don't I told him, F you. Didn't take it easy on me. And let me tell you something. That fool never took a step back. And so, so if you spar with people that are better than you, you might get your ass kicked at first.
Right.
Or you will get your ass kicked
For
at
sure.
first. But you're going to learn.
Exactly.
If you spar with somebody just as good as you ain't going to learn much.
Right.
If anything. If you spar with someone, now I'm not saying never help anybody because you got to help those that are coming up too. So once in a while, if you got to help somebody spar, okay, I did too.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're training and you're focusing on you, spar with people better than you. Spar with people that are going to beat your ass. Spar with people that are going to make you think. Spar with people that are going to hit you a lot harder than you could hit. Spar with people because watch, I've seen blackness and white dots in my eyes a million times sparring. I've had my ass whipped more times in the sparring than I'll ever will in the ring, an actual fight.
Right.
the actual fight was easy. As a matter of fact, when you spar with guys, all you're doing is prepping your body. That's all you're doing. When you spar, you train, you're prepping yourself for the fight.
Right.
So watch this. I sparred with all these guys that Tino Huggins was from Sacramento. Tino Huggins was a lightweight fighter too here in Sac. And let me tell you something about Tino Huggins. That fool hit hard. I hated sparring with him. Rich Savala was another one. I hated sparring with that guy. You know why? When they hit you so hard. They hit you on the left side, your right side hurt. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how hard to hit. But you did it because it made you more careful. You did it because you had to. You did it because you were learning.
Right.
Now, if you go in there with an attitude of, oh man, I can do this, he ain't doing you anything.
Right.
That dude ain't gonna do it. You want to go in there so that he makes you think.
Right.
He makes you not want to get hit. You know, the whole game, the name of this game, boxing, is to hit and not be hit.
Absolutely.
Very few people have, besides Pernell Whitaker, and the second would be, my first is Pernell Whitaker. The second that did it was Mayweather.
Right.
So, but my first is Pernell Whitaker. That man stood right in front of you. You couldn't hit if you tried.
Right.
You ever see any of his fights?
Uh-huh.
Dude, that boy was awesome.
Yeah, he was amazing.
And you know what? You know, no one ever mentioned it so much. Even after he retired, no one really talked about him. But
Right.
Pernell Whitaker, well, I'll tell you what, would not want to fight Pernell Whitaker. I'm telling you, I would not want to fight Pernell Whitaker.
Yeah.
You know, because you couldn't hit him.
Right.
And you can't beat what you can't hit.
Exactly.
I'd have to kick him. You know?
Yeah.
But hey, man, it was nice talking to you. And I definitely want to have you back on
This
show.
is part one.
This is going to be part one of a few more to come because I want to talk to you before your next fight.
I got you.
How's your training going? And after your next fight.
Let's do it.
Okay, people, this is 12 Rounds of Drilling with Tony the Tiger
Thank you.
Lopez. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment on how good this was today. Peace.
Thanks.
You're welcome here anytime, bro.
Thank you so much. I really